What is up, Dallas Cowboys fans? IndyCar Tim here. Good morning to you on a Wednesday. Hump Day! Welcome into the Daily Blitz. It's Dallas Cowboys Wednesday. And today is a very special day, boys and girls. It is a very special day on the Dallas Cowboys calendar. It is deadline day. Today is the day the Cowboys must come to an agreement on a long-term contract with one George Pickens, or he is going to play under that massive, massive one-year guaranteed salary, franchise tag. And look, make no mistake about it here. The Dallas Cowboys and George Pickens are absolutely in a one-year relationship. If nothing gets done today, and I don't think it will, there's no commitment, no long-term promises, no matching tattoos for the two parties, just $27.3 million, 17 regular season games at least, we hope more, and one huge, enormous question, who's using whom? Because the Cowboys are absolutely using George Pickens to chase a championship without accepting the long-term financial risk. But don't feel sorry for George because he is absolutely using the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and this giant Cowboys national spotlight to audition for a contract next offseason that could make Jerry Jones choke on his Johnny Walker Blue. This isn't a marriage, and I would know something about that. This is a one-year stand as opposed to the one-night stand. I don't know if y'all got that or not. Just play on words, y'all. Come on. Get a little rim shot job, little love for that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Look, in this one-year stand could either produce the most dangerous passing attack in football or become another cautionary tale, another Cowboys relationship that ends publicly, painfully, and expensively, much like all three of my divorces. Can you get another rim job for that? I mean, come on. Rim shot's the best. So, yeah, George Pickens is coming off the best season of his career. 93 catches, 1,429 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns, a Pro Bowl selection, and second-team All-Pro honors. He didn't just prove that he can coexist with CeeDee Lamb. He proved that putting both of them in the same offense and on the same field creates massive defensive nightmares. Double Lamb, Pickens will get you in single coverage, and vice versa. Roll the safety towards Pickens, and Lamb starts carving up the middle of the field. You play two safeties deep, and suddenly the Cowboys have favorable numbers underneath and lighter boxes for Javonte Williams in the running game. That is the whole attraction here. Pickens changes the geometry of the offense. And yet the Cowboys watched him put together a career year and responded basically by saying, great job. Here's the franchise tag. We'll discuss your future later. And that sounds cold, but it's calculated. And it's not hard to understand. Pickens is immensely, immensely talented. We're not disputing that. But if you commit 4 or 5 years and a huge pile of money to any player, that's going to carry a risk. And the Cowboys already have major contracts up and down the roster, most notably Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. Dallas does not want to, nor do they need to pay 2 wide receivers like number 1 receivers forever. But it absolutely wants to use 2 number 1 receivers right now while they have them. And that's why this argument works in the Cowboys' favor. They get another season of Pickens in his prime. They know exactly what he costs in 2026. They avoid a massive signing bonus. They avoid years of guaranteed money, and most importantly, they place the risk on the player. Again, that sounds harsh. That's the business. If Pickens gets hurt, the Cowboys aren't trapped in a long-term deal. If his production declines, Dallas can move on. If there's friction inside the locker room, if Pittsburgh Steelers George Pickens shows back up, the Cowboys can move on. But if everything goes perfectly, the Cowboys can reconsider after the season. Although the price tag may be too much. It's a risk. It's a huge gamble for the team. But it's a gamble for Pickens too. And his potential reward might be even higher. Pickens gets $27.3 million guaranteed. So let's not act like he's being treated unfairly here. $27.3 million. That's a whole season of show's salary for me. Man, I'm not getting the rim shots I deserve here. There we go. Thank you. Thank you very much. He also gets another full season with Dak Prescott throwing him the football. He gets another full season of CeeDee Lamb drawing defensive attention. And he gets another full season of the Dallas Cowboys placing him in front of one of the largest audiences in professional sports worldwide. There might not be a better showroom in the NFL for a skill player. If Pickens follows his 1,400-plus yard season with another monster year, he doesn't enter next year's negotiations asking to be treated like a promising receiver. He enters that negotiation demanding to be treated like one of the most dangerous offensive players in football, and rightfully so. He won't just have statistics to throw at on the negotiating table. He'll have evidence that he produced alongside another elite receiver, that he handled the franchise tag drama professionally and delivered under pressure. All of the pressure that comes with playing for the Dallas Cowboys. And he isn't just playing for Dallas in 2026. He's playing for every general manager who might need a true number one receiver in 2027. Every catch becomes part of that resume. Every touchdown increases the price. Every nationally televised game becomes a commercial for George Pickens Incorporated. And that's why Dallas has to understand something very important here. A motivated George Pickens could be incredible for this offense. But his personal business interests won't always align perfectly with the Cowboys. Pickens needs catches. He needs yards. He needs touchdowns. He needs highlights. He needs the kind of season that forces someone to hand him generational money. What happens when he only gets 2 catches for 5 yards in a bad loss? What happens when Lamb gets 13 targets and Pickens gets 5? What happens when Dallas wins a game by running the football, but Pickens finishes with 3 catches for 41 yards? Is he going to remain patient and happy because his team won? Or does the contract situation now begin hovering over every post-game interview? And look, I'm not predicting a meltdown for this at all. Pickens handled his first year in Dallas very, very well, much to my surprise. And he has every financial reason to keep doing that. But the pressure is very, very real. Every quiet game is going to invite questions. Every frustrated gesture on the sideline will become a national segment somewhere. Every sideline conversation will be slowed down, zoomed in on, and analyzed like the Zapruder film. That is life with the Dallas Cowboys. And that's life when a star player is performing without a long-term contract. The Cowboys are better with Pickens. Everybody knows that. And they are predicting, I think they're gambling on the fact that Pickens' contract motivation is going to create maximum effort and maximum production. Pickens, on the other hand, is betting that Dallas needs him too badly to limit his opportunities. And you know what? Both sides might be right. That's what makes this arrangement so fascinating and also so dangerous. And look, here's another uncomfortable question for you. What happens if Pickens helps Dallas make a deep playoff run? Let's say 95 catches, another 1,400-yard season, 11 touchdowns. And let's even add on top of that, he delivers some massive postseason moment and becomes even more popular with Cowboys fans. Then what? Dallas will have spent an entire year making the argument that Pickens is essential to its championship hopes, and then might have to explain why they had to let him leave. The better Pickens plays, the more difficult he becomes to re-sign. That is the backward logic of this gamble, and that's just the way it is. Dallas wants elite production without the long-term elite commitment, but the elite production is exactly what will make the eventual commitment more expensive. And Pickens knows that. That's why I don't view him as just some helpless victim of the franchise tag. He is also taking a calculated risk. One healthy season could completely change the financial trajectory of his career. The Cowboys are using his motivation. He's using their platform. The Cowboys are using his ability to stretch defense. He's using Lamb's presence to create favorable matchups. The Cowboys are using him as a short-term championship weapon. He's using them as the final launch pad toward free agency. And this could be one of the most productive transactional relationships in football. It could also become an incredibly spectacular mess. And the key might be Dak Prescott. Dak's got to keep both players, both receivers, CeeDee and George, involved without forcing the football. He's got to manage the personalities. He's got to manage game situations. He's got to manage expectations while still making the correct read, while still adhering to the game plan. He isn't paid to operate a charity. He can't just manufacture targets to keep everybody happy. But he also understands that Pickens' explosive ability can transform the offense. Brian Schottenheimer and the Cowboys staff have to balance production with preservation. Dallas needs Pickens engaged in November and December. And not just while he's chasing statistics. Pickens has to prove that his value goes beyond spectacular catches. He has to prove he can remain disciplined. He has to prove that he can remain focused. Can he be productive when the ball's not headed his way? Can he block? Can he celebrate other teammates' successes? CeeDee Lamb's success? Can he handle the inevitable two-catch afternoon without creating a week-long controversy at the start? Because teams considering a massive contract won't only study the numbers, they will study everything. This is Pickens' opportunity to destroy every remaining doubt about him. And this is Dallas's opportunity to squeeze one more elite season of a player without paying tomorrow's price today. So who's exploiting whom here? The honest answer? It's both. And right now, neither side should apologize for it. The Cowboys are trying to win a Super Bowl. George Pickens is trying to secure his future. Their goals overlap in this one-year stand. And after that, all bets are off. Because I'm guessing George is going to repeat the year he had last year. I don't know how deep the Cowboys might go on a postseason run. And then I'm guessing George Pickens walks for a butt ton of money. And it's going to be controversial. But for this one season, Pickens and the Cowboys desperately need each other. And that's what makes this one-year stand to me absolutely irresistible.
It's hard.
But that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. If you're listening to the recorded podcast and you're not live with us on YouTube, you can reach out. 214-937-0569 is the FanStream Sports Studio text line. I would love to hear from you. Know what your thoughts are on George Stephanopoulos Pickens. I don't know if that's his middle name. I just made that up. And we'll talk about something else, Cowboys, tomorrow, 7 a.m. right here on FanStream Sports. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see you.